What were your takeaways from practice today?
We just got on the ice, just worked through some of the kinks and some of the things that we kind of saw yesterday that we could do better, and some of the things we did well.
Yeah, specifically, if you can elaborate on the kinks.
I mean, some of it was, the first game kinks, trying to work through them and talk about them and just, reacting quicker to certain transitions. And I think overall, though, I thought it was a positive step for a lot of these guys.
And with Colton, what have you learned of the concussion, like when it occurred? And
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you, exactly what happened. I know that he's in protocol, and as we know with those things, it could be a week, it could be 10 weeks, who knows? That's, everybody's different.
Reichel doing pretty much okay.
Yeah, no problems at all. Felt great this morning.
Um, what's the plan of attack for tomorrow? I mean, you just kind of go in, kind of a show and go type situation. Do you have to get those guys prepared a little bit more or anything? Or?
I mean, we worked on some things today. We mixed up the lines a little bit, tried some different guys, and I mean, honestly, it's for the players, right, to get ready, so that we can see them, we can evaluate them, and then they can be ready for camp as well.
Were you surprised by the physicality yesterday? I just feel like it was a little gritty.
I was not. I kind of figured it was lots of excitement, a lot of energy there, right? And that's usually what happens those first couple of games.
how do you like Nolan Allen's progress?
I liked him a lot, yeah.
What in particular?
I think he defends really well. I think some of his habits with his stick and the way he moves, defends, I think he's come a long way.
And where can he still improve? Is it like defensive positioning or yeah?
No, not really. I mean, I think that a lot of these young players just handling situation, player against older players, better players, knowing learning how to, you have to play, you can be more aggressive on some guys, you got to back off on some guys, just learning the game within the game when you get to these pro levels, I think is something they can all learn.
One thing he was saying that he said that he really liked is the Hawks' emphasis now on like the mental side of things. And I know Kyle Davison has talked about kind of revolutionizing that. What is your role in that, and what changes have you seen with kind of emphasizing the mental side and handling, especially these young prospects?
Well, I mean, from organization with our performance division there with AJ Sturgis and the mental health side, I think has been key, not just for the players, for the staff as well, and just somebody to talk to and bounce ideas off. And for me personally, we try to treat the players, like we're here for them. Right, we talk to them, making sure they're feeling good, making sure everything on the off the ice is doing good, they have a good place to live, or they, so we check in with these guys daily about stuff like that.
Has it always been like that, or is it like particularly emphasized in the last year or so, or like what is the major difference?
Well, I can't speak for everybody else. I mean, I think for me in coaching, I started coaching young kids, and went through juniors and pro. I've always had kind of player-centered first mentality as a coach. So I think for me, like I said, I can't speak for other people, but that's how I look at it.
Yeah. Well, I meant for the organization too, since it's
yeah.
It seems like they've installed more of a structure
Yeah.
To handle this. So I just wanted to know like the scope in Rockford per se, like what's the infrastructure that's the word?
It's the same as down here. So we have access to AJ and Pete and their staff there. So it's the exact same setup. So if a player feels like they need to talk to AJ or Pete about something, it could be off the ice or it can be on the ice. They're there for them, and it's confidential. I don't know what they're talking about, so it's strictly confidential what they talk about.
And then when you talk about what do you lean on them for specifically, like if you have an example of how it's helped you?
I mean, for me, we've had some group settings with those guys, and more so in terms about the team. Why are we doing? For the players to share their experiences, and for the staff to share their experience. So that's more of an open forum, so to speak. Yeah.
How would you describe Isaac Phillips' performance so far this week?
He looks really good. Yeah, I mean, he's impressive. Yeah.
He spent a lot of time with you in Rockford last year.
Yeah.
Had a cup of coffee up here.
Yeah.
How would you evaluate his development from, say, the beginning of last year to today?
Well, I think he's come a long way. I think that I think I said this before. His athleticism as a player, it's one of his strengths as a player. I think he's a little bit more composed now than he came in originally. I think some of his habits has improved. A little bit what we talked about earlier with Allen, just learning how to play against pro guys, learning how to understand who you're on the ice with, stuff like that. But he's come a long way.
Lastly, what do you think, what would you pinpoint for him as things to work on moving forward in the immediate future?
Yeah, I mean, I think just keep developing those things that I just mentioned. I mean, I think in the end of the day, he's going to be a really good defender. He defends first, but he has some abilities to jump into play. But he's going to be evaluated on how well he defends. He's going to, because of his athleticism and his skating ability, he's going to be able to defend against the fast skaters in the NHL. So I think just keep honing those skills.
Do you? I think I might have asked you this yesterday, but forgive me if I have.
That's all right.
I'll try to rephrase it. I know a lot of these guys that you have now. You're guiding them, but then some of them are they're going to go to juniors, some of them go to college, and how do you kind of, when you're kind of the man over their development, how do you kind of keep in touch with them and kind of keep an umbrella approach to their development? If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, in the short sample that we're here with them, I mean, we bump into these guys every day. So we make sure we talk to every guy every day at one point or another. It could be on the ice, it could be off the ice, it could grab a coffee, and so we check in with everybody every day, making sure everything's going okay. Do you have any questions? How's things going? Or sometimes we might be like some directive. Hey, you're doing this well. Let's make sure we're thinking about this as well. So yeah, that's kind of our approach, right? And we have them for 6 days here. So some of them we know from before, from development camp or from last season. So already formed a relationship with a lot of them.
And do you, once they go to their various destinations, do you communicate with them still, like texting, or do you wait for them to come back to you?
Yeah, I mean, Mark Eaton and Eric Kahn and those, the player development side, are the guys that check in with those guys the most. They go watch them, they communicate with them, I would say almost daily. I don't do as much with that. There's a couple of the guys that I form a relationship that will shoot a text with once in a while, but that's about it on that side. Yeah.
On the coaching side, this is your real first chance to get to work with Rob Cameron joining your staff now. What has he brought to the table? Got a chance to catch up with him. He said a lot's coming his way, but how have you seen him adjusting to the coaching lifestyle after being a professional for so long?
Yeah, so far so good. I like him. He's got a good personality. I think he is, what I mentioned earlier, he's here for the players, right? We're player-centered. We're here for the players. I think he's taken that, mindset right off the bat here. And obviously he's played, so he's got some experience. He's got some tricks he can show some of the younger guys. And, yeah, so far so good.
He said he had to watch the game a different way when you're a coach. You're a former player, Jared Nightingale on your staff, another former player. Any tips or tricks of the trade to help that adjustment from a player's thinking of a game to a coach's mentality? Yeah,
we communicate in the room, and I, both Nighty and I, and Peter Aubrey as well, we help him out and say, here's what I look for, because everybody's different, right? So I kind of give him some feedback on how I look at it, what I look for, and then Nighty will give him his feedback, and Pete will give him his feedback. So I think he's inquisitive, and I think that goes a long way when you want to be a coach.